Start talking. Hello. What day is it today? I don't know. It's some day in June. I'm on holiday. I have no idea.
What?
Wendy. Hello. All right, I am awake. While we're not in Kent at the minute, we're back in Dorset, but that's all right. We're going to talk about the last bit of Kent. Now, this is for my friends. This is for my friends at work who said that. Oh, okay. I thought don't talk about that. For my friends at work. To no one else, I probably won't have any interest whatsoever. Close your ears. However, this is for my friends at work. I was born in 1966 in RAF West Morning. My father was the air traffic control squadron leader. He's a boss. He's the boss of air traffic control. This was one of the main reasons we were going to Kent. Besides, I just wanted to go to Kent anyway because I was born there, and my whole family. I've got millions of family there, and my mother was born there and grew up there. There's some stories there, right? Now he's moved on to that's the RAF insignia, the round squares. Off there, you can't see that clearly in the picture, unfortunately, but that's all the different sorties they did and stuff like that. And I've got numbers of God, this sounds morbid. Numbers of people who died. Oh, golly. When Bomber Command during the war. Now, obviously, my parents weren't there during the war. And so that's a bit bigger. Bomber Command was the highest loss of personnel during World War II. And they, from RAF West Morning in the 40s, they had massive sorties going out of there, and is a well-known station, which I didn't know. I found that out this time. So that's an airman from. Oh, wait a minute, he's lost it. There you go. There he's got it. So that's an airman from the 1940s, right? Obviously, you weren't there at the time, but my father was an airman during the 1940s. He joined up in the RAF when he was 18 in 19. Oh my God. He was 18 he's born in 1920, 1939. Doing 1939, he joined up in the Air Force. All right, so move it back. So otherwise it's not going to be relevant. All right, see this one here. It says 1939. Oh, there you go. Beginning of the war. Not my father was there. My father wasn't there. To 1967. I was born in 66. And that's where I was born, in RAF West Morning. Now, if we go back, Brennan, to the control tower.
Why?
Because... No. Because it's irrelevant.
But he saw the
No, don't argue with me. He's arguing with me. Do it one more time. One more time. Thank you. So at the top there, where the glass is, in case people have absolutely no idea about stuff like this, that's where my father would have stood and used binoculars and fiddled around and with of course this is pre-computerization, so they were very, very clever people, air traffic controllers. They would work it out on paper and maps and stuff like that. Really clever. I was very emotional seeing that. That's the original. That is actually where my father worked. I'd not seen. We went back. Golly, must have been 25 years ago. My mother, and we didn't actually see that because that's in the centre of the airfield. And back in the day, there'd been nothing around it. Now there's new shops, houses, a couple of schools, cricket ground. It was lovely, actually. It was really nice, and my father would have loved it. Unfortunately, we could not find my house. The house, there's a row of original married officers' quarters, and they are still there because I saw them 25 years ago, and they were building around them. Could not find them, unfortunately. Very, very sad. Never mind, I'm going to research, and when we're back in 2 years' time, I'm going to find them and actually probably find the actual house I was born in. I was born at home. We did find a square for the other ranks. We didn't take a picture of it because we've got too many pictures. And they're the typical serviceman's accommodation. They look the same today, exactly the same today, but we didn't take the photos. That's what it looks like now. Obviously, I did not grow up in one of them. They're brand new. That's what it looks like now. It's really very smart, and there's beautiful flowers everywhere. My father would have loved it, actually. So that was me in May 1966, born there. And that story has to stop there until 2 years' time. We'll come back to that. Yeah, but we won't be doing a blog then. for me. Now, okay, that's for my friends. Everyone else can open their ears now. Okay, when we left there, we went to Sissinghurst. Sissinghurst, it's actually Sissinghurst Castle, because it's a joke, because it's actually not very big. And that's the surroundings of Sissinghurst. That's Kent itself. Kent's really flat. Really, really flat. My mother always talked about that, how flat Kent was compared to Dorset. Dorset's all hills. It's a nightmare. And she remembers cycling everywhere, but not being exhausted because it's all flat. Anyhow, so we went to Sissinghurst, which is Vita Sackville-West's married house. He's finding the pictures. So I'll keep talking. So do you remember Knowle House? She lived in Knowle House, this Vita Sackville-West, a very famous Bloomsbury artist, writer. And her cousin kicked her out. Anyway, Eddie kicked her out. So she ended up in London for many years, and then under Bloomsbury. And then they settled in Sissinghurst, back in Kent, not very far away. And she then organised really beautiful gardens. Is that Sissinghurst with those little things around it? Was that one of the gardens? I didn't notice all the fencing. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, okay, all right, yeah, I believe you. I just didn't notice all the fencing. Anyway, so she was an avid gardener. She used to go into her tower. Can you find a picture of the tower?
Not yet.
He hasn't found a picture of the tower. We won't talk about it yet. So she set up all the beautiful gardens, absolutely beautiful, and they're there today. They've kept it up. Yes, that's a hedgerow. Oh, a hedgerow. Okay. Can we see the formal gardens, Brennan? My operative's not very good, is he?
I'm not doing it.
Oh, no, keep going.
I'm controlling this.
Keep going. Oh, there we are. There we are. Here we go. So it's a sort of wild arrangement. You know, have more formal gardens. This is more wild, more sort of pseudo natural, but it's not natural, obviously. And they're all color coordinated. So have you got another? Did you get the white one? A picture of the white one somewhere. They were amazing. They were absolutely beautiful. Really beautiful. So there's a white garden, there's a pink garden, then there's a stone garden, and they're really lovely. There's so many, Brennan. Just plop on a picture. That's a white one, isn't it? There. See that? Fantastic. Fantastic. It's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Actually, I'm quite speechless how beautiful it was. And can you get the pink? There was a pink one, wasn't there? He's looking, and I've gone silent. You shouldn't go silent. So rude to go silent.
I don't care. I guess I actually want to. Just trying to find.
He's finding it.
Let's just break.
Okay. All right. So that is Sissinghurst Castle. like I say, not a castle. Do you know what? Apparently, it's jokingly called a castle because during the Neapolitan
7 Years' War.
the 7 Years' War, Napoleon. Napoleon 7 Years War. I can't say the word. Anyway, the Napoleonic. The French prisoners of war were brought here because it's not very far from the sea. You see, it's actually only probably about an hour away from the sea, and Kent's really close to where all the fighting was going on with the sailors, and they were brought there. And this is a prison, and they jokingly called it a castle because they're apparently treated really badly. But you guess you can see it's not huge, but it's actually really beautiful. And now we've got a picture of a tower, isn't it? Yeah, there's a picture of a tower. She'd sit up there and she'd do her writing from up there, second window up. Very famous and iconic room. It's often talked about her, and she'd look over her gardens and stuff like that. Did you? And you took some pictures on the top. So Bren went up to the top. I didn't. I am afraid of heights. So he went up and he took a panorama from the top of the Kentish. It's Kentish.
Wait.
No, there's two forms. There's Kent and there's Kentish. This is Kentish. Of the surroundings. And as you can see, there's Oast House. You see those little white pokey things? That's a Oast House. And that's the back where the living area. Lovely. It's really, really lovely. I can't think of anything else to say about that. Oh, yeah, one thing. She managed to... her cousin didn't want some furniture. So she managed to get some furniture from Knowle House. So, or some of her furniture and her pictures. And there's one room. Oh, yeah. There's a small amount of furniture there, which I think is really sad. But anyway, so that's the other side of the tower. And that's the other another picture from the other side. There you are. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. And no rain. We were so lucky it rains in England. Absolutely beautiful. I can't think of anything more to say about Sissinghurst, can you, Brennan?
I'll show pictures.
You should go show pictures. There you go. I'm going to pass you after Brennan.
The rest will just be pictures to the most part because there's not much else to say about Sissinghurst. It's just flowers.
Well, just flowers.
Flowers and buildings for the most part.
Oh, how much?
As you can see, just brick buildings as was the period.
Dark brick in Kent. Saves dark brick. They also have dark brick.
Yep, and there's this one. This is an apparently 17th century wooden cabinet thing.
And that the design side.
Apparently the design side, but we couldn't see it because there was another thing there, so we can't open it. But it normally would be open. Let's see. Yep. Then there's this hedge maze form area.
It's you.
What?
It's you.
What?
That's called you, the hedge. The plant is called you.
I don't care.
All right then. They might care.
But why would they?
I don't know. Why not?
Yep. And there's stuff like...
Oh, artistic shot.
Yeah, this artistic shot for the sake of it. I know it's nothing, doesn't explain anything, but...
Do the pagoda. That's a beautiful picture.
There you go. Now you're working. Right, next one is just a general scenery shot again, because I prefer general scenery shots. And because I was taking photos, I had a complete option of what to take. As you can see, it's just brick, hedges, general environment. What? What does it say?
That's all right.
That's all it is, Wendy. Brick, hedges, general display.
You.
I'll just go to the lake now, I think. Just a general scenery walk. You're walking to the lake. Okay, now you're working. It's down a bit. Let's get the right lake shot first. Because I took like multiple ones of them. That's not lake shot, but that's good enough. It's good enough.
You took one of the lake, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you found it. Go on.
There you go, as you can see.
All right, now I'll talk about a meadow.
Why?
I'll talk about meadows while you find the lake. Go on, then have that picture in your head. Well, I'll talk about meadows. Now, just like in Australia, there's been a problem with insects and stuff like that. Find the lake. Are you finding it? Oh, yeah. And there's been a decrease of insects. And of course, insects are very necessary to cultivate that's pretty. That's a good picture, Brennan. Whoa, there you go. And the need of meadows is really important for biodiversity. And so the more that you can keep, and farmers are actually doing. Leave the lake on. Oh, okay. Their farmers are actually doing strips of natural grasslands or whatever to help butterflies, to help bugs, whatever, for biodiversity, because it's becoming a big problem. I'm going to pass you over because he took these photos, and he's good, isn't he? He's so good.
Yeah, I took all the photos as per standard. As per standard, did any photo I basically show in this, and no touch screen. Yeah, as per standard, I took all the photos as per any basically photo in it that isn't me in it. That's just rule of thumb.
Oh yeah, the Romanese. No, I have to talk about that.
Finish one too.
All right, on the way back to East Morning, there's some Romany guys. Now, this is going to be a bit of a hard one for people who are not of European background listening. In Europe, there's a nationality of people. It's a nationality. It's their own, I guess, race. Possibly, I don't know. Probably race. There is a classification because I know this, but I won't bore you with that. That they are Romanis are classed as service children, as in non. Oh my word! What's the word? Non-status, i.e., going anywhere, so they don't come from one place, right? So these are Romanis, and yes, they have horses and they have carts, and they travel. Some of them do have a home, but still have the carts from the home. Some just still travel in their wagons. Some have actual proper motor homes. Big variation. But where I lived, where I grew up in Dorset, for about 2 months a year, they used to come down to the farm down in Lynch, and they would come and stay on the farm because that's it. That's where they live. I think that was just a traveling one, but the other ones they all look really similar to that, and they're all painted. And this is their lifestyle. They don't have a static home 9 times out of 10. And like I say, they used to go to and they also used to go on Lidlage Common, because commons in England and Europe generally, a common is a common area, i.e. you can put your livestock on it to feed them, or we used to get goats on our common, or you can just stay there. If you need someone to put your horse up and you need to sleep, you can stay there, right? And they used to go on the common, and they make the most beautiful artwork, and it's from things they collect on the way, from wood on the way, and they craft it, and it's painted. And we used to buy quite a lot actually ourselves years ago. Unfortunately, can't buy anything now because I can't take it back to Australia. But there's a talk of you're not showing those pictures, are you? Are you showing those pictures? They're not Romany, that's Tunbridge Wells. You can wait. You can wait. I haven't finished yet. There's a reputation that they are thieves and gypsies and this, that, and the other. They're not. They just choose not to live in a house, and they're honest folk. And you often find the farmers at picking time, regardless, throughout, for example, throughout England, they travel around England month by month by month and do different picking, like apple. So they'd start off with the summer fruits, to apple picking, to winter farm work. You know what I'm saying? So there were extra workers coming around. This was before aeroplanes, etc. Right, but they also did go across to Europe, but you don't see them. You do not see them in Asian countries. You don't see them obviously in Australia. And yes, they do exist, and they really do use ponies still. All right, we'll go back. Thank you, Brennan. Now, this is, again, one for my friends here. This is Tunbridge Wells, and this is where I know I've talked a lot about my grandmother, how I grew up. This is where once a year, when it was summertime and my parents' hotel was absolutely full, chock-a-block, my parents would go up to our bedrooms. We'd be sent off to, because this is where my grandma Dot lived, in Tunbridge Wells. So I spent a lot of my childhood. He's looking for another photo. Well, don't do something weird. I'm talking about Tunbridge Wells and they don't know what it looks like. Well, he's getting there. Sorry. Oh, sorry, it's a computer, not him. It's the computer, not him. Oh dear. Yeah. Technology is wonderful, isn't it? Anyway, so my sister and I would be packed off, and I want to tell you this story. How innocent was this? My mother would drive to Gillingham in Dorset to the train station. We would be put on the train, my sister and I, we would be all of maybe 6 and 8. We would sit on the train and be told to sit still until we get to London, because it's all the way and it would be a 2 hours journey. And we sat still for 2 hours. We'd get off the train and my grandma would be waiting at the gate in Waterloo, London. Then she'd take our hands and we'd go from Waterloo to, oh God, I couldn't remember this. I think it's Charing Cross. And then we go down Charing Cross by train to Tunbridge Wells. Can you show the train station? When he reloads it, sorry, it's messing around, sorry. So we get to the train station, then we'd catch a bus to my grandma's flat, and she'd make us millionaire shortbreads. To this day, I make million shortbreads for my grandchildren. It's very, very emotional for me. And I used to love going to my grandma's for 2 to 3 weeks over summer. Absolutely love it. It's favourite. Have you found the station yet? And I made him take a picture of the station. And he said, why am I taking a picture of a train station? I said, because. Isn't that sweet though? I mean, you wouldn't dream of doing that nowadays. He's still going, sorry. No. He said, there we are. Tunbridge Wells train station. There you are. To the rest of you think, so what? To me, hugely emotional. Loved my grandma. I absolutely loved my grandma. So did you? And you've shown all the Pentals pictures. It's well known, Tunbridge Wells, because all the royal people. Yeah, that's what we've got to say. We would come driving in, and there's this big sign, and it says Royal Tunbridge Wells. Why the bloody hell is it royal? I said, well, they decided the royal family made it royal because from the Georgians right up to Victoria, they used to go there for the water, the spa water, which is really healthy. And they stayed there, and Queen Victoria stayed there as well. So it's actually a very famous place, and consequently, it's rather grand and expensive. Even then, to this day, it is grand and expensive. Not that my grandmother didn't; she lived in a council house, but that's all right. So that's a beautiful statue. Can you see the Georgian houses? The big houses with big windows, Georgian. Eh? Okay. Not much else, because besides that, it's just shops now, really, in Tunbridge Wells. And even the museum was pretty rubbish, which I thought was a bit bad. But anyway, whatever. That's fine. So we're going to say goodbye to my grandma Dot now, and me as a little girl, and we're going to sign off.
Anyway, yeah, because the computer's acting up stupidly, it's probably better we do this so we can get this out in the first place. So that's it for now. Updates will be when I find something interesting to update about.